let's see, we got, the gentlelady from Vermont is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you all for being here. And I just want to start by saying I'm really sorry that you've had to witness some of this. It's frankly embarrassing at moments. You know, cue the diabolical music. Isn't it true that you believe that climate change is real? Isn't it true that you believe we should reduce our carbon footprint? It's absurd that we're even having this conversation. I represent Vermont, and a year ago, we had catastrophic flooding in Vermont that we're still digging out of. It destroyed basically every small business in the downtown of our capital. From one end of the state to another, we are still dealing with claims to FEMA, still dealing with insurance claims. And I can tell you, it really doesn't matter whether you're talking to a Democrat or Republican. Vermonters know climate change is real, and we are feeling it in all of our downtowns because the water runs downward. And even small rain storms turn into catastrophic flooding for us, and it's happening more and more. So again, I'm sorry that you have to sit through this. I want to turn to another issue that I think is incredibly important that I don't want to get lost here, which is we talked about pensions. And so I receive a pension in Vermont. Before I was a lawmaker, I was a public school teacher. And I understand really well that many teachers dedicate their entire lives to the future. And I always say, as a middle school teacher, you can't teach middle school unless you believe in the possibility of change and you believe that there is possibility and promise on the horizon. So as teachers, we're focused towards the future. And it's only logical that we would want our investments to be focused on that same thing, stability for the future, so that when we retire, there will actually be a floor, essentially, so that we can live lives of dignity in retirement. And this topic is so important because it goes directly to the heart of it, which is, will hardworking people have the money that they need to retire with dignity? And we're talking about long-term sustainability. As we talked about, you know, earlier, it's teachers, it's janitors, it's all of our frontline workers. And if Congress doesn't allow money managers to make responsible investments now, then we'll see a poorer and darker future for all of those people. And so, you know, it's absurd that we sit here, you are here as responsible investment managers, right? And your job is to make sure that you evaluate risk on behalf of your client. That's why they hire you. That's why they invest their money there. Nobody is forcing them to do this. This is where the market has led us. If a firm wants to attract investment by demanding that it's thinking about demonstrating that it's thinking about the future, the next quarter century, not just the next quarter, we should respect that. We should be supporting that, right? We should get the hell out of the way, honestly, and not drag you before Congress for this ridiculousness here. As has been mentioned before, my Republican colleagues, who are usually so in favor of letting market forces work, would second guess the investment decisions that you're making because they don't align with their worldview. So they've constructed, once again, a dynamic involving a culture war conspiracy theory around investing, responsible investing. We talked about the returns. You're getting great returns. Isn't that what we're supposed to be talking about here? Investing responsibly so people can live with a life of dignity later on. So what are we doing here? We're wasting time, once again, in this committee, not talking about the issues that absolutely impact working people day in and day out. So I just want to go back to basics here. Let's go to each witness here. Let's get at the heart of it. This entire hearing is premised on the idea that responsible investment initiatives somehow require companies to make investment decisions that are in violation of antitrust laws. So, to each of you, do responsible investing initiatives include binding agreements between companies to make certain investment decisions? Yes or no? We'll start with Mr. Bienvenu.
On behalf of CalPERS, we make every decision independently, and it's about generating returns to pay pensions consistent with our fiduciary duty.
Ms. Lamb?
Can you repeat the question?
I want to know, do responsible investing initiatives include binding agreements between companies to make certain investment decisions?
Absolutely not.
Ms. Lober?
Absolutely not.
So again, what are we doing here? I sit in here day in and day out, and I wonder, who's standing up for the little guy? Who's standing up for the little guy? Mr. Chair, before I yield back, I would like to introduce for the record the report of the Democratic staff of the House Judiciary Committee on this investigation, which, unlike the Republican staff report, contains an antitrust legal analysis section reviewing the evidence and concluding that no antitrust violations have been proven here. I ask unanimous consent.
Without objection. The gentleman from California is recognized for unanimous consent.